So this is the person's profile. It's the same shit, and I showed all of you guys, right? I forgot to explain things while that video was going on. So the first parts that you're seeing is about the Becky situation, which it has nuance and it has stuff to do with this, because I keep talking to Derek about situations when it comes to that situation and me seeing things and seeing people for who they are months ago. This was a part of the shit that where I seen people for who they were months ago, right? That just is what it is, okay? That's what it is there. Now, when it came to everything else that was being said, that you seen that I said, you seen that they said, everything else, right? The nuance of the conversation, before we got into that conversation, the nuance on the lives and the nuance of what they kept saying and how they kept saying things is that they are white and they can't kick someone out of their lives that is a person of color because they're white. Okay, that was their thing. Or that they can't speak over somebody that is of a POC and that's a Latina, right? Like they can't do this stuff. And their nuance was that within the live is that a POC person has more say over white people in certain situations. Well, if that's the case, then Native Indigenous people that are on their own lands here in Turtle Island, voices should matter more than anybody else's. If we're going to go with these nuances, right? If we're going to go with this kind of mental process, since this is the very much the way everything was going, since that was very much the way how they were portraying it, how they were letting it be, how they were saying things, you heard them say things too about them being white and pasty or whatever the fuck else and saying stuff like that. You've heard them say it. You watched people say it. You've seen people say it. Their whole narrative is because they're white, they can't speak over a POC person because that will make them racist. And that a POC person has more say than them in situations. Cool. Native Indigenous people have more say in these situations than over the POC and the YT. That's how it would go. Because our people have been genocidally wiped out from off of our own fucking planet, from our own fucking country. Our lands have been taken and stolen from us. We cannot be in the same cities, the same, any of that as each other that we all grew up in and sit there on reservations, and especially on reservations. Cannot sit there and date someone within our same reservation because they are 9/10 of the time our cousin. The only way that they're not our cousin is if they had married somebody else from some other way. But then you're taking the chance of having, if they had kids with that individual, your kids and their kids being like cousins while being siblings at the same time kind of thing, right? So it's really just, it's not a great situation, all right? It's not. Entirely, it's not. And it's not fair to sit there and say that black people have a say over white people because of white people doing what they did in the past, when African American Indigenous people that came from Africa on the Icelandic slave trades also helped to wipe out Native Indigenous people. They also helped to do this. It wasn't just white people. So if that's the narrative that we're pushing right now, then the people whose diversity is so small that we have to have gatherings of the nations and powwows with different fucking nations of tribal peoples, right? Native Indigenous people of Turtle Island. If we have to do that because there's lacking of diversity within our own nations, that's a problem. That's a serious fucking problem. At least anybody that's YT or anybody that is of the POC community can go within their own same neighboring areas and date someone and know that they're not going to date their cousin. I wasn't trying to be racist. I wasn't trying to come off as that. I was going on the nuances and everything that was being given in the moment. So if we're going to go with that kind of bullshit, then we're going with the full nuance of a situation. We're not half-assing a situation. We're going to the full nuance of a situation. And as you've seen, I explained everything in there. Everything. Same thing I'm saying here, I've explained in there. And I did not see anywhere in there where I said I was more black than somebody. I seen in there where I said I was 1/3. But I definitely didn't see where I said I was more black. Now, if anybody does see that, you can point that out to me. And if that's the case, I am sorry. I have dyslexia. And I didn't mean to put black. I meant to, I meant it in a different way. I meant it like that she has more white in her than me. Like, that's what I was meaning. Not that I'm more black, that she has more white than me. She obviously has more black than me, because I'm only a quarter, just like I'm a quarter white. So duh, I would never, you know, assume that this person was less or anything, because we don't do the one drop rule. We don't do blood quantum here, okay? We're not doing that shit here. It's not okay. So, no. Just because I present more doesn't mean that people know my lineage, my background, how I grew up, or what I had to deal with or face while being a white presenting child in a very much native community in the Appalachian Mountains on land that was like 88 acres of owned property out there in West Virginia. So, like, to be quite honest, and it was never within the home that I would hear this. It was always people outside of the home. But still, I went through my own things. I'm not sitting there comparing it to what other people in the past has gone through in past history. No, I'm saying I've went through my own, courses of people being prejudiced and discriminating and all these other things. And I have grown tired of being told that because I present white and me understanding my proximity to my whiteness and everything, that I don't have a say in anything when I do. Because technically, even though I present white, I am more native than I am white or African. Period. So that's it at the end of the day. Now, since everybody got to see what I said, everybody knows what's going on now. You could take it or leave it. Take it as it comes. Take it how it is. If you think I'm racist, then I guess that I need to work on myself. But I don't see me being racist. I see me being factual and coming to people and letting them know things. And it just was what it was, right? I am sorry if any and all people in the community at all thought I was trying to be racist. Was not my intention, and wasn't even trying to be in any way micro, which I don't even think I was, but that's still neither here nor there. Impact and intention are two different things, but I know what my true intentions were, and it wasn't that. And just because it impacted the community in a certain way, or at least a group of people, I should say, in a certain way, because it's not a bunch of people, it's just a tiny group of people, because I promise you, my family is on this app. My Native Indigenous family is on this app. If they had a problem with what I'm saying, they would address me as soon as fucking possible. Same with the African people on my side of the family. They're on this app too, and they're on my fucking page. They're on here. They're on here. Promise you, they're on here. So it's okay. I get it. People don't know me. I don't have, these kind of problems or issues. I literally stopped being Dead Doll's friend because she called her being biracial and him being a full black man, called a black man a worthless NLET ending. That's all there is to it. Like, that was horrible, and I stopped being her friend over it. Me and Gina both stopped being that girl's friend over that. But, that made us racist for, not wanting a slur being said around us, because that was a slur. That wasn't a term of endearment. That was used in an angry, hateful slur. But hey, I hope this clears everything up for everybody. Again, I am sorry. I'm just, trying to deal with things as best as I can, because this is a lot, considering that, since 2018, this is something that I've advocated for.